Ooh, ooh, big fish-ish. Y'all know what it is. All right, so today we're gonna talk about purpose. What a surprise, right? Of course, at this point, if you've listened to probably at least three of our videos, four of our videos, you know that we talk about purpose a lot. Even if the topic is not on purpose, usually everything comes around to being centered around our purpose. And I got another book. So I finished the last Napoleon Hill book, Think and Grow Rich. Then y'all know I was reading Patrick Bet-David's book, Your Next Five Moves. And Patrick Bet-David, go check out Patrick Bet-David's website. He actually lists his top 100 books. He's an avid reader. He's one of these guys that is just addicted to success, and it doesn't surprise me that aligns with his addiction to reading. So this new one that I'm reading is The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Now, this was the precursor for Think and Grow Rich. So I'm reading it actually afterwards, but it's another one. It's another one, and I want to talk about, it's not a book review, but maybe it is. Who knows? But I wanted to address some of the things that he talked about and some of the thoughts that I had while reading. So in this book, he talked about something that I think a lot of us struggle with, or a lot of us see others that struggle with it. And it was the fact that he said that 95%, based on studies that he's done of people, are failures. 95% of people are failures, and he said 5% of people are considered a success. Now, his definition of failure and success may be a little bit different than yours, mine. Mine seem to align with his a lot, but a lot of it comes down to pursuing one's purpose. And a lot of times we see people that are miserable in life that still work hard. You see a lot of people, think about just the people that are in our lives, may work hard, but just don't seem to get a break, whatever that is, a break, and are just miserable. And the work that they're doing, even though that they're working hard, they seem to be moving in no direction forward or upward towards an overall goal. It's almost like they're just drifting. And he actually highlighted some things in his book that reminded me of, the importance of having a purpose. So I want to read a couple little paragraphs to y'all, and you guys tell me what your thoughts are. So first we're going to go over to a story. All right, so this story, hopefully you all have heard of Henry Ford, guy who created Ford. He was the rich. He came from poverty and then became, I believe, the wealthiest person in the world at his time. So, less than 30 years ago, a man was working in the same shop with Henry Ford, doing practically the same sort of work that he was doing. It has been said that this man was really a more competent workman in that particular sort of work than Ford. Today, this man is still engaged in the same sort of work at wages of less than $100 a week, while Mr. Ford is the world's richest man. What outstanding difference is there between these two men, which has so widely separated them in terms of material wealth? Ford understood and applied the principle of organized effort, while the other man did not. And I want to highlight something that talks about organized effort, because that's going to align with the purpose as we continue to build on this concept. Power is organized effort. As has already been stated, success is based upon power. So, I want to go to another phrase, but pretty much in that passage, it was simply describing how Henry Ford and this other person had about the same understanding, or actually the other guy had even more of an understanding in their particular field, but 30 years later, that person is still doing the same thing, while Henry Ford is the wealthiest person in the world. Think about that. How can that happen? The lack of goals, the lack of ambition, the lack of imagination, and all of those things factor into a lack of purpose. Now, when we talk about purpose and going through life without one, he tells a story that I think a lot of us, can take heed to and just get a better understanding of what purpose can do with our overall life. So, night after night, for many months, this man saw, matter of fact, let me go back a little bit earlier. No, we'll start right there. So he's describing somebody that's out at sea. Actually, this is the wrong story. One second. Here we go. The man who labors without a definite purpose that is backed up by a definite plan for its attainment resembles the ship that has lost its rudder. Hard labor and good intentions are not sufficient to carry a man through to success. For how may a man be sure that he has attained success unless he has established in his mind some definite object that he wishes? So the paragraph before that tells the story. If a steamship lost its rudder in mid-ocean and began circling around, it would soon exhaust its fuel supply without reaching shore, despite the fact that it would use up enough energy to carry it to shore and back several times. So you have that's what seems like a lot of us are out here right now, exerting a lot of energy. We all have a lot of potential, but because we have no purpose to aspire to reach, we end up just kind of floating through life. We end up never accomplishing it is what we want to accomplish, what we say we'd like to accomplish, or just maximizing our potential in any area of life. So let me read just a couple more passages, and then we'll talk a little bit more. If success depends upon power, all right, because I know you heard me mention power with the organized effort. If success depends upon power, and if power is organized effort, and if the first step in the direction of organization is a definite purpose, then one may easily see why such a purpose is essential. Until a man selects a definite purpose in life, he dissipates his energies and spreads his thoughts over so many subjects in so many different directions that they lead not to power, but to indecision and weakness. I want to read that again. If success depends upon power, and if power is organized effort, and if the first step in the direction of organization is a definite purpose, then one may easily see why such a purpose is essential. Until a man selects a definite purpose in life, he dissipates his energies and spreads his thoughts over so many subjects and in so many different directions that they lead not to power, but to indecision and weakness. How many times have we seen this? How many times have we seen this? And as I was reading the book, I made some notes, and I just was writing that, it's not always our effort or lack of effort. It's what are we applying our effort to, and does it align with our overall purpose? Do we even have an overall purpose? And I think that's something that more of us need to be very clear on. I sat and spoke to, and y'all know it's noisy out here. I'm on the balcony. It's downtown Miami. Y'all bear with me. I know that a lot of us may think that we have a purpose. But sometimes when you ask somebody what their purpose is, it's all over the place. Even me sometimes when I challenge myself. Like I said, I was talking to a group of kids last week, high school kids and middle school, and I had them all stand up, in the beginning and say, introduce yourself, say your name, and what's your purpose in life. And most of them didn't have a purpose. And some kind of made it up on the spot, and you could tell. But most of them, you ask most 30, 40-year-olds, what's your purpose? Most people aren't going to have an answer that's truly thought out and that's definite. When they say definite purpose with organized effort, the organized effort has to be led into a particular direction. So when we heard about the person with Henry Ford that had more information or more knowledge in that particular field, it wasn't organized in a way to pursue a higher purpose. It was just to stay in that exact position that they were in 30 years ago, which is why they're in the same position they are 30 years later. And a lot of us, I believe, feel that with simply just hard work, that we'll be able to get to where it is that we're looking to go. And you heard me read that paragraph. I want to go back to that paragraph where he said that pretty much just because you work hard at something, it doesn't grant you success in any area. I'm not sure. I'm not even going to go look for it. But hard work in itself is not enough to lead us to success. First off, as Napoleon Hill pointed out, what would even determine success if we have no purpose? Because our purpose is supposed to be, our success is supposed to be defined based on our pursuit of our purpose and whether or not we're able to successfully pursue that purpose, achieve that purpose, fulfill that purpose, and fulfill our potential in that particular area. So a lot of this stuff is simple. Like we always talk about, it's very simple. It's not necessarily easy, but it is simple. And once we start shifting our mindset to search more for simplicity rather than ease, then we'll start to embrace the fact that I don't even care if it's easy or hard or difficult. I'm just focusing on whether or not I can figure it out and simplify it. Because once we have a goal and we understand the challenges, the obstacles that it may take to get there, we can simplify each step. We don't have to just look at the final destination. We can simplify each step. It's no different than what we talked about before with the old MapQuest. The old MapQuest, where you had to follow each direction. Remember holding the maps, the MapQuest directions, and you're following each. In 0.5 miles, make a right. Okay, boom, we got there. 0.5, and then you get the next step. So we have to look at life like that to constantly achieve those smaller steps. And what it's also going to do simultaneously is give us the confidence that we need to achieve the bigger challenges, to overcome the greater challenges. All right? And that's going to, the more skill and will that we have to overcome those greater challenges, the more success we'll be able to have, the greater success. So a lot of us just simply need to find what our purpose is. What exactly is our purpose? While we're here in life, and you can have different purposes based on, different things that you're looking to achieve. You can have a purpose with work, you can have a purpose with family, you can have a purpose in different areas, or you can have goals in different areas that should align with your one overall purpose, but you can break it down. Because if we don't break it down, then we're not going to be able to be organized. And it's like another example that they use, building a house. Imagine just having everybody show up, all the builders, the plumber, everybody just show up at one time and just, all the materials, and just say, okay, let's build this house. No, it has to be an organized effort. All right? It has to be an organized effort where you have to have plans set, and then you follow each plan. And there's still going to be problems and challenges that come up. But when you have an organized effort, it allows us to solve those problems in a simplistic way that allows us to get to the next step faster and more efficiently. So just wanted to kind of share that with y'all. I know a lot of times, especially, at our age, I'm 35, your 20s, you think that you could just have fun and everything will kind of work itself out in your 30s. And then in your 30s and 40s, you may just be thinking like, hey, I'm working hard, maybe even have had some success in certain areas, but you're not feeling as fulfilled as you would like. And there's a lot greater things, a greater purpose that you would like to fulfill. And there's just a void that we're feeling. And a lot of times we don't even know what that void is. It just feels that, damn, like I hit my goal in this particular area, or it may not have been a goal. You could just look around and say like, damn, I'm making okay money. I should be a little bit happier. I should be, enjoying this a little bit more. But that's because there's no goal set. There's no goal. We're kind of just wandering around, sometimes it's cool to just wander on a boat, and just kind of just chill. We need those moments as well. However, when we're looking to get to a particular destination, We need to have an organized plan. We need to make sure that we're moving in the right direction rather than just wasting fuel. And a lot of us are just moving through life, wasting energy, wasting our youth, wasting our intelligence, wasting our imagination, rather than pursuing it is exactly what's going to fulfill us and maximizing our potential. So something simple that we can do. I know we talked about it on the wake up. I talked to the young high school kids about it, and it's just writing down our purpose. Figuring out what exactly our purpose is going to be. If it's a family purpose, maybe bringing in our significant other and having them get in on board with just kind of creating that little mastermind group, creating a mastermind group that's going to allow us to, 1 + 1 does not always equal 2. Even though they teach us that what one person can do by themselves plus what another person can do by themselves does not add up when they come together. All right, it's compounding. So another thing in the concept in the book, the mastermind group, but the point of it is get together with whoever your tribe is, your community, your village, your family, your loved ones, and figure out, what exactly your purpose is going to be. Maybe figure out what the overall purpose is going to be and how your role can help move the needle and continue to push forward into fulfilling whatever it is you and or your tribe is looking to fulfill. So with that, let's get to it. Let's make sure that we're writing down our purpose, writing down our mission, writing down our goals, and that we're repeating them every day. We're reminding them every day. Hang it up in our room somewhere to where we're going to see it every day. These are simple things that we can do to put out a positive energy that's going to attract the things that we're looking for, attract those opportunities. We talked about the concept of auto-suggestion before. We want, with our thoughts, to suggest to the universe, with our thoughts, put out that suggestion energy that's going to give us back the opportunities that align with our overall purpose. So with that, make sure y'all check out this book. Maybe this was a book review, I don't know. But The Law of Success, Napoleon Hill. And it's funny, one last point. All of these books, I was talking to actually a friend of mine, Pete, and I was saying that, a lot of times when you're reading something, when I went back and read the Odyssey that I read back in high school, and I saw different things that I see now. And a lot of the things, because where I am right now, I'm very clear on my purpose. All of these books, it almost feels like they're one long book because I'm taking out the exact things that I need in order to accomplish my particular purpose. So this book feels the same as Patrick Bet-David's book. It's almost like it's one long book, and I almost struggle with when I'm thinking back to certain concepts like, was that Andrew Carnegie's book? Was that Patrick Bet-David's book or Napoleon Hill's book? And it's the theory of autosuggestion, not the theory, the scientifically proven concept of autosuggestion. So let's be clear on it. It is on exactly what we want. So then we can get clear on a plan of how we can get there. So with that, I'll let y'all go. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's the weekend. I don't know when I'm going to put out this video. I'll probably put it out later today. It's the weekend. Spend some time resting, recuperating, but also spend some time getting the edge. Let's gain the edge. Let's put in some work, and let's use this weekend to not stay stagnant, but to get us closer towards our purpose and closer to our goals. So I'll see y'all soon. Ew.